silver bounces back from oversold bottoms in anticipation of the gold move. The gold move happens, then the generalist investor comes into the precious metal space. Leadership changes from gold to silver. Silver goes crazy, and towards the end of the silver move, people take it to absurd heights. They pile on. That always happens. I suspect we're going to have a real good precious metals market this cycle, likely better than the one we had in 2000 to 2010, likely better than the one that we had in 1989 to 1996. I think we're going to have a real move in precious metals, and I suspect that the blow-off top in silver will be one for the record books. Now, the truth is that I've learned over time an awful lot from reading a book called Human Action by von Mises about individual volition and the way people think, their motivations around fear and greed and things like that, to love-hate, to buy things where the expectation is it merely goes lower. And after the narrative has been justified by the price action, when the narrative is no longer valuable, when the thing goes from fairly valued to overvalued to stupidly valued, and when everybody is buying into the narrative because the narrative has been confirmed by the price action, I sell some. I don't always sell all, like I've never sold all my gold, as an example. I've ridden some position of my gold all the way back down. But as an example, Dunnigan, on your show about 6 months ago, I talked about the fact that the uranium juniors were stupidly oversold. Hated. A bunch of internet posters who had uranium as part of their internet handle were capitulating publicly, saying, I wish I never heard of this stuff. Doesn't get better than that. I bought a reasonable smattering of the high-quality uranium stocks. I already owned a lot, but I added on, not because I needed to add my position, but just because they were so hated. And now they're not hated anymore. And so those positions, which were between 20 and 25% of my total positions, I put back in the market. Is it likely to go higher? Yes, but that's not why I bought it. I bought it because it was hated. I bought it because it was oversold. When that condition ceased to exist, I sold. The truth is that all this time that they allegedly were manipulating the silver market, silver was going down all by itself. The US dollar was very strong in the period 1982 to 2022. And you didn't need to manipulate something that was falling all by itself. I'm not suggesting that there wasn't short-term manipulation in the market. There's short-term manipulations in all markets. Markets as large as the euro-dollar market, the U.S. Treasury market, have been proven to be manipulated in the very, very, very short term. Once we began to lose control of the interest rate in 2022, surprise, surprise, the dollar weakened and gold and then silver got stronger. There will come a time when silver will be manipulated up. I remember the 1970s when the overnight raids in the silver market were long raids, not short raids. I remember that very, very, very well. The same players, I would suspect, would build very, very, very large and very long variegated futures positions and then pile into the physical market because the futures positions were leveraged, so that the overnight boost in those days in the price of gold and silver would produce outsized gains in the physical market. The same technique that they used in the period 1982 to 2022 on the short side. No difference. The time will come again. Understand that the manipulators take markets in whichever way is the easiest to take it. They're completely agnostic. And when it is easier to manipulate precious metals markets up than down, that's what they'll do. When the natural direction of the markets is down, but the preponderance of punters is on the upside in futures markets, the manipulators happily fill the mooches, in their words. When it's easier to fill the mooches long, that's what they'll do. Shortage of physical silver could be prevented in the future. You may recall 1987, when the silver price shot up as a consequence of Warren Buffett announcing that he owned 20% of the world's above-ground supplies of silver. An interesting thing happened at that point in time. We didn't know how much physical silver was in India, but the price of silver doubled in US dollar terms, and the Indian rupee fell by half. which coincided with either a flood or a drought, I forget which, and the need that the Indian peasantry had to sell their silver, which was up fourfold in their terms, to feed their children. All of a sudden, supply came out of nowhere. The flow of silver, which had been from Dubai to India, reversed, was from India to Dubai. And we had more silver we could shake a stick at, of course. The people who were hurt by that blamed the manipulators, but the manipulators were really the Indian peasantry. Now let's get back to the base question. The silver manipulation works like this. The futures market trades some days 100 times, some days 200 times the amount of physical silver available for good delivery. Almost all of the contracts roll off worthless or are rolled over. Those are the two things that happen. Occasionally, the markets get unbalanced and syndicates of shorts go way short the silver market, borrow physical silver, which they blow into the market, take a loss on, and cover their shorts as the physical market, the tail wags the future market dog. Remember, too, that when some newsletter writers talk about a short squeeze, that's not the way futures markets work. What happens if there's a real imbalance in futures markets and there's a failure to deliver? We saw this in the tin market 2 years ago. Is the guys who run the exchange, who, by the way, are the dealers, and the banks, say, too bad, so sad. We're halting trading, we're going to set a price, and we're going to cash settle. That's what happens. If you think that you're going to catch the silver banks way offside in a market that they control, I got a bridge to sell you. Now, I'm not trying to say that in the event of a silver squeeze, that the long side wouldn't make a lot of money. I shouldn't say this. It is alleged that in my youth, I constructed quite a few short squeezes on the Vancouver Stock Exchange. And it is said that I caused some short syndicates in the equities markets really truly religious experiences. And I suspect that at some point in time, old habits die hard. When the silver market is stronger than the shorts believe, that they will get trapped. Well, they won't get trapped. They'll get squeezed. And they'll probably lose billions. But the circumstance where they'll be called in for physical metal won't happen. The exchanges will halt the market, and the exchanges will set a clearing price, and it will clear in cash. Having experienced 2008 as an example, about a fear-driven liquidity squeeze. The 2008 liquidity squeeze happened with our nation's balance sheet, at least our public balance sheet, in substantially better shape than it is today. And I'm afraid that if a liquidity crisis of that order of magnitude were to occur today, the ability that the Fed in particular would have to deal with it is much more constrained. As recently as 1981 or 1982, in the U.S., federal debt was about 30% of GDP. Now federal debt is about 130% of GDP. In 1982, the net present value of unfunded liabilities in the United States was about 1 times GDP. Now the ratio of unfunded liabilities to GDP is about 4 times. And I continue to be concerned about, first of all, the arithmetic around our reliance on the government. And I continue to be concerned about what happens in society if greed in financial markets turns into fear. I'm also concerned about the growing acrimony in the U.S. and other places. I'm concerned that people have been politicized enough that they believe that they're entitled to the fruits of other people's labor. I'm afraid that white people now feel like they're being crowded out of entitlement markets by black people. I feel like black people consider that whites have taken unfair advantage over time. I'm concerned about our concern about immigrants. I'm concerned about the rising tide of anti-Semitism. I think a lot of this has to do with politics. If people believe that they're entitled to the fruits of other people's labor, if they get crowded out of access to other people's labor, they blame the other people rather than the fact that they should have been self-reliant. And so I'm concerned about that. But, I'm a 72-year-old curmudgeon, and I understand that some of it might just be myself. I've always been optimistic about my ability to thrive. I've been optimistic about many of my friends' ability to survive. Sometimes I thought they might need my help, and sometimes they have. And I should probably be more optimistic about society. We've talked, Dunnigan, you and I, about the fact that Pareto's law says most people are good. There's only sort of 4% of the population that are programmed to be problem units. Maybe 1% of the population that are programmed to be really, truly hostile units, which means that, we need to try to hang out with the 96% who are good people, maybe worry less about the 4. Sadly, too many of the 4 are elected officials, and that is, of course, problematic. I remember, sorry to answer this ad nauseum, but
no, actually, you're going about where I was going to go in the end anyway, so you just keep going.
It's a very interesting question. I remember when I was about 16, cataloging all the woes that were in front of me to my grandfather, asking him, what I thought I should do. Vietnam, which I wasn't particularly interested in. Anybody who grew up in California, as I did, remembers in the 60s you needed a gas mask to get to a college campus. There was racial antipathy, all kinds of stuff, and I was explaining all this litany of woes to him. My grandfather started laughing. He said, son, my generation had some challenges too. We had World War I, which wasn't pretty. We went from World War I to the Great Depression, and we went from there to World War II, which ended with the atomic bomb. You're going to get through this.